What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to discuss the top 3 things that you need to do in order to get ready for Madden 21. Now, I want to just discuss 3 points that are going to get you an advantage on day 1 of Madden's release. Madden's coming out here in 7 days on August 25th, I believe. And I have 3 things, like I said, that are going to give you an early advantage in the game if you can get even just one of them done to help yourself out. Now, the first one, and probably the most important one, is an aspect of the game that people have neglected even this year, and people have yet to adapt to what point number 1 is. So going from Madden 19 to Madden 20, a lot of people didn't really take my word or didn't adapt to the fact that you need to get the ball out of your hands quicker. And if you can adapt right now for Madden 21 to getting the ball out of your hands quicker, running shorter plays, quicker plays, cutting out some of the play action from your playbook, some of those dead plays, if you can do those things now here in Madden 20, you're going to set yourself up with an advantage in Madden 21, because Madden 21 is pretty much a carbon copy with a few additions coming from Madden 20 going to Madden 21. So the pass rush is not going to slow down at all for you guys. You're not going to have any more time to throw. In fact, you're probably going to have much less time to throw with the advent of the defensive line user skill stick. And so that kind of is going to lead me into my next point, but I just want to emphasize the fact that you need to get used to passing quick, because that's the way the game is going to play, and a lot of people have still yet to adapt to the way the passing game works in Madden 20, and it's going to be very similar in Madden 21, if not quicker. You need to get the ball out of your hands in like 3 seconds or less. You know, you need to drop back and you need to know where your open receivers are and get that ball to them as soon as possible. That leads me into my second point, and that is getting used to the skill stick and getting used to using the defensive line. If you guys haven't been aware, they're basically canceling out all defensive users. I mean, you're still going to be able to use her on defense. You're still going to be able to use her a linebacker or a safety or a corner, but players are going to play much slower on defense this year. They're trying to encourage you to use the defensive line. They don't want people running around all over the field, covering most of the field with a single player, and you're not going to supposedly be able to do that in Madden 21. Now, that will probably change once all the big name guys out there on YouTube, you know, the vocal minority, go out there and complain about the fact that they can't use her and cover everybody. But what you need to do to have an advantage on day 1 is you need to get used to using the skill stick, and you need to get used to using the defensive line, because you're not going to be successful or as successful with using linebackers or using defensive backs. Essentially, the meta is going to be using the defensive line, and it's going to be completely skill stick based. They improved the skill stick, they added it to the D-line, and they've made it more important to link up moves on the offensive side of the ball. So if you're not getting used to using the skill stick, if you're not good at using the skill stick now, you can start getting good at using the skill stick in order to give yourself an advantage on day 1 of Madden 21, because the better you are with the skill stick, the better you're going to be at the meta, because the meta is going to be linking plays, linking moves together on offense, and it's going to be using the D-line and using those pass rush moves on the skill stick on defense. So like I said, you're going to you need to get used to essentially not using a linebacker or a defensive back or whatever it might be. You need to get used to using the D-line, and you need to get used to using the skill stick more often if you're not already used to using the skill stick and you're not good on it. If you get better at it now, you're going to give yourself an advantage on day 1. So those are the first couple points. And then the third point is essentially you need to get used to outsmarting other teams on defense, because like I said, they're trying to remove the user lurk. They're trying to remove somebody that can basically cover the entire field with one user defender. So you need to get used to beating players with your head. You need to get used to creating plays on defense by utilizing the correct play call, making the correct adjustments, and if you're not doing that now, you're going to be at a disadvantage in Madden 21 to the players that know how to do that. The players that can call the correct plays on defense, call the correct schemes, call the correct adjustments, the correct audibles, are going to have the advantage in Madden 21 because they're limiting the ability of players to cover the entire field with one player. So it is really, really crucial for you guys, as point number 3 here, is to get used to stopping offenses by making the right play calls and making the right adjustments and beating them with your head. Because like I said, yes, you're going to be able to use the D-line and you're going to be able to get that pass rush off, but for the most part, they're trying to limit your ability to have a super high impact on defense with a user player. And it's going to be hard for you if you're used to just using, 75% of the field and not really paying attention to what defensive play calls you're using or making adjustments to be able to stop the offense. If you're not used to doing that stuff, you're going to be at a disadvantage in Madden 21, so you're better off getting used to doing it now. So those are the 3 tips. These are the 3 things that you can do right now, that you need to do right now to give yourself an advantage coming into Madden 21, and you're going to be a lot better off if you start doing these things in Madden 20 right now, start playing like this right now, you'll be at a much better advantage going into Madden 21. Number 1, get used to the quick passing game. Like I said, the pass rush is not going to be any slower. If anything, it's going to be faster. You're going to have less time to throw the ball in Madden 21 than in Madden 20 because they're making players essentially user the D-line. They're kind of returning to the old days where using the D-line is the meta. So the pass rush is going to be OP in Madden 21. You need to get used to getting the ball out of your hand quick, and you need to basically get used to not running as many play-action plays because they're going to hurt you. The second tip is that you guys need to get used to using the skill stick, and combined in with that, you need to basically start using the D-line and get used to using the D-line. Probably the most equivalent thing that you could get to what the pass rush is going to be like in Madden 21 is just go and play with Aaron Donald or one of the top pass rushers, and that's going to give you the best experience that's going to be similar to Madden 21 because you're going to have players that can get off the ball if you time your moves correctly. Obviously, the skill stick won't be involved here in Madden 20, but the skill stick is going to be heavily used in Madden 21, and it's going to be really important on offense, they say, because you're going to need to link moves together to set up big plays and stuff like that. So get used to using the skill stick now. And then point number 3, like I said, is you need to get used to, on defense, picking the right plays, making the right calls, making the right adjustments, because if you're not, like I said, you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage because you can't just pick a 90-speed linebacker or a safety or a corner anymore and cover 90% of the field. It's just not going to happen. The players are going to feel a lot slower on defense this year. They're essentially taking that out of the game, and they're making the meta using the D-line because they didn't like the way that played and how unrealistic it was. So, you guys know my personal opinions on those things, but regardless of my personal opinions, if you want to be ready for Madden 21, you need to do these things to get ready because that's the way the game's going to play day one. Like I said, it might change because the big guys out there, the silent minority that don't like these types of things, they want to be able to use or cover the entire field, they'll probably speak up and they'll complain, and the game will get changed like it does every single year. So be prepared for that to happen because last year they said the same thing coming into Madden 20. They were eliminating the user linebacker, and it was like that for probably about 2 weeks, and then it got patched out of the game. So, be ready day one, but also be ready for the game to change. Hopefully this helps you guys out in some way. If it does, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, comment down below with what you guys would like to see next, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night.